Meet sailing yacht Avanti and her crew, Gerard and Jacqueline. We left Cape Town in December 2021 on our floating home, heading west on an adventure of a lifetime around the world. It's Shark Week in Fakarava with Avanti. In today's video, I will dive the famous wall of sharks. Gerard gets to do some kiting, and we show you the rest of the southern anchorages in Fakarava, French Polynesia.
Are you ready for your shark dive?
I'm on my way to go dive the wall of sharks, where I would see hundreds of sharks that all come together in the pass. With the currents caused by the water coming in and out of the lagoon, sharks gather to feed right in this small area. I'm a little nervous, to say the least. Snorkeling with 5 or 6 at a time is one thing, but hundreds? I don't know if I'm ready for that. We saw lots of sharks, and they weren't at all as scary as I thought. But not the hundreds that we expected, and I left a little disappointed. But that's nature. Sometimes they're there, and sometimes they're not. After the shark dive, I still didn't have enough of the underwater world though, and we snorkeled a bit more before sailing for Harifa.
Irifa is an anchorage in the southeastern part of the atoll, known for its large white beach and lots of space for kite surfing. I still have all my kite gear, but unfortunately my kites are way too small for the light winds that normally blow here, so I plan to rent a larger kite from the local kite school. But sadly, the predicted wind was nowhere to be found, and instead of kite surfing, Jacqueline spent hours on the SUP.
Our planned time was starting to run out, and from here we planned to sail to Rangiroa, which is the next atoll. But after hearing that our friends were heading to the South Pass the next day, we returned and spent another few days here. They have some diving and kiting gear, and a better kite surfing window was coming up for Gerard, and the full moon might bring the promise of more sharks for me to see. So we stayed and celebrate their arrival with a beach braai.
The braai kept on going well after cruise's midnight, and there was some good music and stories shared around the fire. The wind had finally arrived, and we headed over to the so-called Pink Beach with its pink sandy beach and coconut trees to see if we can get a bit of a kite surfing session done. We visited this beach a few days ago when there was no wind, and we forested some of the coconuts from the trees to get some fresh coconut milk for drinks. We managed to launch the kite, and although it was a little bit gusty close to the coconut trees, it was actually very good further out, and we managed to kite surf an hour or two. With the wind being so gusty close to the coconut trees, we ended up going far out, and we had to be rescued by the dinghy because we struggled to get upwind again. And yeah, a bit of a mess with the lines as we're not used to water launching or water recovery.
We headed over to the diving resort right at the South Pass to see if more sharks had come into the area since the moon was full. The resort itself doesn't mind cruisers coming in and tying dinghies to their dock to snorkel, and even sell a coffee or juice close to meal times. The resort was getting ready for dinner and was throwing some fish in the water, and it was crazy to see the amount of sharks that were feasting on our offcuts. It's 10 in the morning, the tide is coming in, and all we had to do was jump in and glide through the most amazing experience of my life so far. Just after the surreal experience, a ramora fish that normally clings to whales or sharks and feeds off remains decided that I would be his new home. He would not leave me alone and even bit the stick that Dal used trying to push him away from me. The diving experience today was so cool. It was so much better than when I went the first time. It felt like I was swimming in a National Geographic documentary or something. It was just magical. It's so hard to put to words how really amazing it was being completely engulfed between sharks. I mean, there was just hundreds of sharks right around, and so many types of sharks. It was amazing.
We had another day of wind and decided to make the best of it by kiting just outside the anchorage where the boats are all moored. Join us next week as we sail to one of the best known islands, Tahiti. Thank you to our Patreons for supporting the making of these videos. Liking our videos, leaving comments and subscribing helps YouTube to show our video to more new people to enjoy. See you next week.